I work as a 911 dispatcher in rural Ohio, and I got a call at 2:47 a.m. that still gives me chills. A woman was screaming about someone in her house, but here's the thing that messed me up. She called back 3 hours later from the same house, calm as anything. And when I asked her about the first call, she said nobody ever called, and nobody had any record of it either. Let me back up. I've been dispatching for 12 years. You hear everything: burglaries, medical emergencies, drunk neighbors fighting. You get used to the adrenaline. The screaming becomes background noise after a while. But this night felt different from the moment that call came through. The woman's name was Sarah. She said she was home alone with her two kids, ages 6 and 8. They were asleep upstairs. She was downstairs watching TV when she heard it. Not a loud noise, something worse than that. Someone turning her doorknob, slowly, deliberately, like they had a key, like they belonged there. The intruder was rattling it, testing the lock, over and over, jiggling it harder. She could hear the metal clicking as they tested different angles. She called 911 screaming. I could hear her kids crying in the background. Her voice was shaking so bad I could barely understand what she was saying. She was hyperventilating between words. "There's someone outside my door! There's someone outside my door! Please, please, my kids are here! Please help me!" I logged it immediately, sent 2 cruisers to the address. I stayed on the line with her the entire time, told her to lock herself in a room with the kids, turn on all the lights, don't hang up, they're coming, help is coming. She was gasping for air. I could hear her moving through the house. Footsteps, heavy, quick footsteps, a door slamming, then the sound of her locking something, a deadbolt clicking into place. "I'm in the bedroom," she said, breathing hard. "I locked the door. I have the kids with me. They're so scared. I'm so scared." "Okay, Sarah, you're doing great. Officers are 3 minutes away. 2 cars. They're coming fast. Just stay on the line with me. You're safe in that room." For maybe 2 minutes, there was just breathing. Her breathing, the kids whimpering. One of them asked, "Mommy, what's happening?" She shushed them. Her voice was trying to be calm for them, but I could hear the terror underneath. Then I heard something that made my stomach drop. A voice, low, calm, coming from somewhere in her house. "Sarah." It sounded like a man, but it wasn't aggressive. It was almost gentle, like someone calling out to find where she was, like someone looking for a friend. Sarah gasped. "He's inside," she whispered. "Oh my God! Oh my God! He got inside!" "The officers are coming, Sarah. Stay in that room. Do not open that door. Do you understand me? Officers are 2 minutes away." "Please hurry. Please. He's walking through the house. I can hear him. He's going room to room." The voice called out again from the background, almost sing-song. "Sarah, where are you, Sarah?" Then she said something I'll never forget. "I recognize that voice." "What do you mean you recognize it? Do you know who this person is?" But before she could answer, I heard footsteps, fast ones, running down the hallway. The kids started screaming, real, primal screaming, not just fear, recognition maybe, something worse. Then there was a bang, the sound of something heavy hitting the bedroom door. Once, twice. Sarah screamed, then the line went dead. Just like that, the connection cut out. I immediately called her back. Nothing. The phone rang and rang and rang. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I was going to pass out. I kept trying her number, over and over. My hands were shaking. I've been doing this job for 12 years, and I've only felt this way twice before in my career. Both times, people died. 7 minutes later, one of the officers called in. "Dispatch, we're at the residence. House is dark, all doors locked. We're checking the perimeter now. Officers, be advised, there may be an intruder inside the residence. Victim was reporting an unknown male in the home. She indicated he was trying to breach a bedroom door." "Copy that. We're assessing the back entrance." Another minute. Then the officer called back. "Dispatch, we found them. They're in the master bedroom. They're all asleep, but we can't wake them up easily. Victim is not responding to verbal stimuli. The kids are, I don't know how to describe it. They seem heavily sedated." Sarah and her kids were hospitalized. Toxicology came back clean. No drugs in their system. No signs of physical trauma. No signs anyone had been in that house at all. All the doors to the house were locked from the inside. Deadbolts engaged. Security system armed. There was literally no way for anyone to get inside. And yet someone had been there. Sarah and I both heard them. But the call I received, the one on the 911 system, it didn't exist in any official records. I pulled the recordings myself to verify. The logs showed no incoming call from that number at that time. The dispatch records were blank. It was like that entire incident had been erased from the system. I called Sarah directly. "I'm not supposed to talk about this," she said. Her voice was hollow, empty. That night, whatever that was, it wasn't just a bad dream, but it also doesn't exist anymore. The police made that very clear. They said if I talked about it, if anyone talked about it, the calls would keep coming. "What calls, Sarah?" She hung up. 3 months later, I was going through some old dispatch logs from years before, and I found something that made me feel like the room was tilting. A call from a similar address, Oak Ridge Drive, year 2003. A woman calling about an intruder, same time of night, 2:47 a.m. Same details, someone turning her doorknob slowly, deliberately, like they had a key, like they belonged there. There are at least 4 other calls, all on the same street, all at 2:47 a.m., and every single one of them has been systematically removed from the official system. I tracked down one guy who worked there in 2007. I asked him if he ever experienced anything weird on the job. He told me he had nightmares for years. He said he'd respond to calls, and then the calls would disappear, like they never happened. He asked me why I was asking. When I told him about Sarah, he didn't say anything for a long time. Then he said, "Stop looking into it." "Why?" I asked. "Because I think the more you look, the more you understand, and once you understand, the calls find you." I quit that job 2 months ago. I live in a different state now, but I still think about that voice, that calm, familiar voice calling out in the dark. Because here's the thing nobody tells you about that job. Sometimes you pick up the phone and there's no one on the line. Not silence, worse than that. There's breathing, and it sounds like it's coming from inside your own house. And then you hear it, the voice calling out softly, "Where are you?" Like it knows your name, like it's been looking for you.
I met my doppelganger at a gas station in Colorado 3 weeks ago. Same face, same tattoos, same everything. And when I looked at his left arm, I saw the exact same scar I got from falling off a roof when I was 9 years old. Not similar, exact, down to the curve, down to the depth. I was pumping gas on a Tuesday night around 11 o'clock. When I turned around at the register, there was a guy standing right there, staring at me. For a solid 5 seconds, we just locked eyes. He had my exact face. I actually reached out and touched his chest to make sure he was real, to make sure I wasn't looking at a mirror. "You seeing this too?" he asked. His voice was identical to mine. "Yeah," I said. "How is this? What the hell?" We sat in his car for 45 minutes in the parking lot. He told me his name was David. He lived 2 hours away. "I'm Daniel. I work in insurance." Same birthday, January 14th, 1996. Both had appendicitis at age 11. Both broke our right ankle in high school. Both have a weird fear of deep water, but love hiking.
"Okay," David said. "This is freaking me out. Show me something personal." I rolled up my sleeve. "I got this scar when I was 9, I said. It was a curved line from my elbow to my wrist. David went quiet. He rolled up his sleeve slowly. His arm was identical, the exact same scar. "I got mine from a roof fall too," he whispered. "I was 9 years old. It was June." "Have you ever seen pictures of your family? Any genetic stuff that would explain this?" "I'm adopted," he said. "Found out when I was 15. No real names from my biological family. Private adoption through some agency that doesn't exist anymore." My hands were literally shaking. "Me too. I found out when I was 13. Same situation. I have the paperwork somewhere." We looked at each other. The reality was setting in slowly. We weren't just similar. We were something else entirely. David said he'd been having dreams about another version of himself, working with numbers, wearing different clothes, but feeling the same way he felt. In the dreams, he was me. I'd been having the exact same dreams. They started 6 months ago, exactly 6 months ago. We exchanged phone numbers, decided we needed to figure this out together. That was 3 weeks ago. I never heard from him again. I called him the next day, no answer. Texted him, no response. So I drove to his address in Ridgeway, small house on the edge of town, but there was nobody there. I asked the neighbor. She looked confused. "I don't know who that is," she said. "This house has been empty for months." Last week, I got a text from an unknown number, just a photo. It was me, in my apartment, in my bed, sleeping. The photo was taken from the foot of my bed. I live alone. All my doors were locked. The security camera footage from that night just shows a blip, a glitch in the video between 2:47 a.m. and 3:15 a.m. I think David and I weren't a coincidence. I think something put us there that night, on purpose. I've been looking into my adoption records, and I found something buried in old paperwork. The adoption agency was called Meridian Genetics, and they did more than just adoptions. They did research. I found one newspaper article in 1996 about some controversy, about genetic testing, and then nothing. The article was removed. The agency dissolved. The records were sealed. If anyone reading this has had a similar experience, if you've met someone who looks identical to you, has the same scars, the same dreams, don't contact them. I'm serious. I think whatever created David and me is still out there, measuring something. The last text I got was an address, my address, and a time, 2:47 a.m. tonight. I'm writing this from a hotel room 4 hours away. I'm going to stay away from my apartment because I think David learned something he wasn't supposed to, and I think that's why I can't find him anymore. I think he's still in my apartment, though. I think he's waiting for 2:47 a.m., and I think he's waiting for me.